Hello and welcome to the Leadership Institute. My name is Michael Miller, and after you're hearing me just by audio for all these weeks, I hope you're glad to see me face to face. With that, today we're going to start with an important topic, important to leaders and important to people, and that is goal setting. I'm sure you've set some goals for yourself and have experienced the pleasure of achieving them. Today, we want to take it to a different level. And we want to start out by asking you an important question. And that is, what is the most important place in setting a goal? In other words, is it where you are right now? Or is it all the way over here, meaning where you want to be, right? Is it the current situation? Or is the most important place when setting a goal the future? Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Michael, come on. The most important place in setting a goal is the future. Because isn't that the definition of a goal after all? A desired future state, right? But think about it. If the future is the most important place in a goal, doesn't it go something like this? Let's use a goal you've probably set for yourself at a time in your life. Maybe when you were in high school, right? You started out as a freshman in high school and you thought to yourself, I'm going to graduate from high school. That's my goal, to graduate from high school in 4 years. And what did you do? You set out as a freshman, sophomore year, junior year, senior year. You go to the prom, maybe. You cross the football field, and what happens? They give you that diploma. You did it, goal achieved. But what happened to you the minute you achieved that goal? Boom, baby freshman here at Bridgewater State, right? Uh-oh. You achieved that goal, but the minute you got it, you're back to where you are right now. You're back to your current situation. So now you're saying, okay, Michael, so you're giving us the answer. The most important place in a goal is where you are right now, right? Now that's true. I mean, think about it. If you wanted to visit someone, maybe you're dating somebody out in the University of Massachusetts, way out west in Amherst, right? And your goal was to be with your hottie. Think about it. Don't you have to know some things right now? For example, do I have wheels to get there? If I have wheels, do I have the moolah, the cash, to put gas in the tank to get there? Do I have directions, right? But knowing all that still doesn't take care of getting you to the goal of being where you want. So what do you think? What's the most important place in setting a goal? Does it live somewhere else? Maybe now you're getting it. Perhaps we need to start thinking differently about our goals. And remember this, that the goal most likely doesn't really live at the end. The goal really lives in the middle. The goal lives in the gap, in the space between where we are and where we want to be. That's right. Now, why would that be a great way to think about goals? Before we get into actually setting goals and maybe some of the mechanics you can use to set some terrific goals for yourself and your organizations, perhaps we should think about how important that is, right? Because if we stand where we are and we take a full assessment of where we are at this moment, and we're going to show you how to do that in a minute, and we think, close our eyes and imagine the future that we want, then all we need to do is structure a goal to put in the middle to take us from where we are all the way to where we want to be. Isn't that pretty neat? Back and forth every time, rising and rising each time we do it. So how would you do it if you were going to set out a goal for yourself, considering where you are and where you want to be? Let's just start simply at taking an assessment of the right now, taking an assessment of our current situation. A great way to do this is to borrow from the world of marketing and conduct what is called a SWOT analysis. S-W-O-T, SWOT. And very simply, what it means is taking a status of your current situation by considering first your strengths. What are you really good at? What's working for you right now? What are you in control of and confident about? Those would be your strengths, correct? So you might list those down. Then you would list your weaknesses. I procrastinate. I can't focus. I have too much going on right now in my life. My weaknesses, the things that block our success or get in the way of us making something important happen. The third would be your opportunities. The opportunities are most exciting when we think about goal setting, since that's what goals are all about. It's about realizing, making happen opportunities. So think about opportunities like this. If only I did X, I could achieve Y. Let me give you an example of this. An opportunity might be, if only I visited my professors during office hours, I would have a better relationship with them. See the opportunity in that, right? If only I joined an organization or two, I would know more people at the university. It's the latent thing that exists. If only you took a small step or two, you could make something else happen. That would assess where you are right now. And the last of the SWOT analysis is the T, the threats. In other words, what are the things in the environment that could potentially thwart your efforts, block where you are right now? For example, it might be finances. That could be a threat for you. I'm counting on my financial aid. I'm counting on my loan coming through, right? What are the things that threaten your success? For some of you, the threats could be, well, the very group you hang out with. My friends are terrific, but they don't like to study that much, and they get me off track. They take me away from what's important to me, right? It becomes important to think about your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. If you analyze those, you'll find you have a pretty clear picture of where you are, right? So once you choose from those, you can make a decision about what you want to be different and better in the future. Let's use, for example, your grades. Perhaps you say, well, you know what, I want to get better grades. Now that's not a goal in of itself, that's actually your vision. When you think about the future as different and better, you have higher grades than you do right now. Let's step back and think about it. So what are your strengths? I'm smart, and when I do my work, I do it well. Good, those are your strengths. Those help to make that vision a reality, right? Let's think about your weaknesses. I procrastinate. I tend to do things at the last minute, right? Yeah, that gets in the way sometimes of making those good grades happen, right? What's the opportunity? The opportunity is, we have a great academic resources center here at the university where I can get tutoring and help if only I avail myself of it early. If I went to tutoring earlier, I would do better in my classes, right? And the last, what's the threat? The threat is I'm carrying 18 credits this semester, so I have a heavy load. That could impact my ability to get the grades I want, right? So when you close your eyes and you think about all of that, you say, I know what I'm going to do. I know where I am right now, and I want to get grades that are higher than they are right now. I'm going to work to be more successful academically and have that bear out in my numbers, right? So now, you did it. You looked at where you are, you assessed your current situation. You know that you want grades that are different and better, and now it's time to fill the gap. Fill the space with the goal that's going to take you there directly, right? So now, you could say, my goal is to get better grades. That's not a good goal. Why? Well, I'll put it this way. If your grade point average right now was 2.5, and after this semester your grade point average was 2.6, that's better grades. But that's not what you meant, right? You meant something bigger and better than that. That's why we need to set goals using what we call the SMART criteria. SMART is an acronym, right? Let me tell you quickly what SMART stands for. Specific, measurable, agreed upon, realistic, and time scheduled. See, the problem with the goal to get better grades, not specific. What do you mean, right? Right? To get better grades, right? You probably could measure that, but if the measurement is 1/100th of a point, who cares, right? You might think agreed upon is weird, but you have to agree to your goals. You have to do the things that you agree to. You have to do the things that you know are going to take you there. In other words, you need to commit, right? Is it realistic? I don't know. Suppose you decided that your goal was going to be to achieve a 4.0 grade point average by the end of this semester. Now, if your grades are a 2.5 right now, is it realistic to think you're going to get a perfect 4.0? I don't know. Maybe, but you have to decide that it's realistic. A horrible way to set a goal is to set a goal that you could possibly never achieve. What a terrible way to live, to keep working at something, knowing you're never going to make it happen, right? The last piece to the SMART goals is time scheduled. And I beg you, look at Michael right now. I beg you, for the rest of your life, never set a goal without putting a date on it, right? So when will you achieve this goal by? It's very important to set that date, because that date sets the whole thing in motion. That date, that time-scheduled goal creates urgency, helps us know the clock is ticking and we have to get going, right? So, think about it. You set a goal for yourself to graduate from Bridgewater State University. No. Let's put that in the SMART criteria. How about this? To graduate from Bridgewater State University with a Bachelor's of Science degree in biology, with a 3.75 GPA by fall 2016. Now that's a goal. Why? Think about what we said earlier. When you set SMART goals for yourself, it gives your everyday direction. In other words, if you set that goal for yourself to graduate from Bridgewater State with a 3.75 GPA in biology by fall 2016, would that give your life direction from where you are right now to where you want to be in a different way if I just said my goal is to graduate from college, right? 3.75 means something. It means you're going to have to live differently in the space between where you are and where you want to be. And that is what helps us get what we want out of our future. A future that we vision to be different and better than it is now. So what is a goal? A goal is the result of knowing where we are, knowing what we really want, and filling that space in between with goals that make sense, SMART goals. Now, take a moment now and think about your own goals. What goals will you set for yourself? Take a look at the Blackboard site for more information on goal setting. With that, I thank you for attending today's installment of the Leadership Institute, and I look forward to seeing you again.